cars rolling out spotless. You collect the money, the machine does the work, and you spend your afternoons doing something else. Sounds like the perfect business. And honestly, from the outside, it really does look that way. But here is what people who actually invest in this business know, and what most people on the internet never tell you. An automated car wash is not a vending machine you plug in and walk away from. It is a complex retail engineering business that happens to clean cars. The margins are real, the risks are real, in ways that most people never see coming. Let's start at the beginning. When people say automated car wash, they usually picture one thing: a tunnel. You pull in, your car gets grabbed by a moving belt, it travels through a series of machines spraying water and soap and wax, and it comes out the other end dry. You never get out of the car. You barely interact with another human being. That is the express exterior conveyor tunnel, and it is the format that has taken over the entire industry. The reason is simple: speed and volume. A well-run express tunnel can process somewhere between 100 and 200 cars every single hour during peak periods. A hand car wash with 10 workers cannot compete with that. An old-style rollover machine that washes one car at a time definitely cannot compete with that. The entire business model is built on throughput, pushing as many cars through as fast as possible, with as little labor as possible, while charging customers just enough that they come back again next week without thinking twice about it. That last part is where the real money is, not the one-off wash, the repeat customer. And more specifically, the customer who pays you every single month whether they show up or not. We will get to that. Here is something that surprises people when they first look at this industry. Car washes are remarkably resistant to economic downturns. The United States currently has around 289 million registered vehicles on the road. The average vehicle today is 12.8 years old, the oldest average ever recorded. When people drive older cars, they tend to take better care of them, and one of the cheapest ways to maintain paint, prevent rust, and preserve resale value is to wash regularly, then add the seasonal factors. Road salt in winter, dust and pollen in spring, bird droppings in summer, bug splatter in fall. In cold weather states like Ohio, Pennsylvania, or Michigan, that road salt is genuinely corrosive. It eats through the undercarriage if you leave it sitting. That is not a luxury wash. That is maintenance. About 80% of American drivers now use a professional car wash rather than washing at home. A 5-minute automated tunnel wash costs $15 and the car comes out cleaner. Nobody wants to spend their Saturday afternoon crouching next to a garden hose. That is the baseline demand. Stable, seasonal but not fragile, and increasingly predictable, because the industry figured out how to turn that demand into a subscription. Before you spend a single dollar, you need a piece of land. And finding the right piece of land is harder than almost anything else in this business. The ideal site needs between 15,000 and 35,000 cars driving past it every single day. Not a highway. Highway speeds are too fast for drivers to safely turn in. You want a secondary road with a speed limit between 25 and 45 miles per hour, giving a driver roughly 40 seconds of visual exposure to see your sign, decide, and pull in safely. Less than that, and you are invisible. You also want to be on the right side of the road for evening commuter traffic heading home. Nobody makes a left turn across 3 lanes of rush hour traffic to get their car washed. They drive past you every day and never stop. And you want to be near high-traffic retail destinations. A grocery store, a big box retailer, a shopping center. The decision to get a car wash is almost always impulsive. You need to be in the right place at the right impulse moment. A prime corner lot in a major suburban market, the outskirts of Atlanta, Dallas, or Phoenix will cost somewhere between $500,000 and $2 million, just for the land. Before a single shovel of dirt has been moved, commercial zoning approvals for car washes are notoriously difficult to get. Local municipalities often classify them as high-impact businesses, requiring environmental reviews, drainage assessments, noise studies, and architectural approvals. In some municipalities, the permit process alone takes 12 to 18 months. You are paying carrying costs on land that generates zero revenue, while local officials decide whether your car wash is an appropriate addition to the neighborhood. The cash burns before a single car ever enters your tunnel. You have the land. Now you need a building. And this is not like building a simple retail store. A car wash tunnel is a specialized industrial environment. High moisture, industrial chemicals, constant vibration. The concrete has to be reinforced and sealed with chemical-resistant coatings, or it will crack within a few years. The plumbing has to be stainless steel or heavy schedule industrial pipe. The electrical service needs to be massive. A typical express tunnel requires between 400 and 800 amps at 480 volts. 3-phase power. That is the kind of electrical service you see in small factories. Then you need the vacuum plaza, 15 to 30 individual stalls with overhead canopies, underground suction piping, and proper drainage. Those stalls add cost and footprint, which is why you need a lot of at least 35,000 to 50,000 square feet. And then the waiting lanes. A well-designed facility needs stacking capacity for 30 to 50 vehicles before the entry kiosk. Without that, your waiting cars spill onto the public road, a traffic hazard that can get your permit pulled. Total construction costs for a properly built express tunnel, from site preparation to finished building, typically run between $800,000 and $1.2 million on top of the land before a single piece of wash equipment. A sample project budget allocates roughly $1.5 million for land, $1.2 million for construction, and $800,000 for tunnel equipment, coming to a total capital requirement of around $3.9 million just to open one location. Now comes the part that most people think of when they imagine a car wash. The equipment inside the tunnel. The conveyor belt is the foundation. It grabs your front tire and pulls your car through the entire sequence at a controlled speed. Modern express washes have moved from old-style chain systems toward wider dual-belt designs that are gentler on wheels and more forgiving for entry errors. This matters because vehicle damage claims are one of the most consistent headaches this business deals with. Running the length of the tunnel are foam applicator arches, high-pressure water nozzles, rotating foam brushes along the side and top, wheel scrubbing rollers at the bottom, chemical injection ports for wax and sealant, and at the exit, a row of high-velocity blower dryers powered by 5 or 6 separate motor units. Controlling all of this is an industrial computer system connected to infrared sensors and cameras that track each vehicle as it moves through. The system adjusts chemical dosing and brush timing based on the vehicle's dimensions. A high-end equipment package from a major supplier like Sonny's, National Carwash Solutions, or PDQ Manufacturing runs between $300,000 and $600,000 for the tunnel equipment alone, before installation. Add the payment kiosks, touchscreen terminals with credit card readers and license plate recognition cameras, and you are adding another $50,000 to $100,000. This is why people say the car wash business is capital intensive. You are not opening a sandwich shop with a few refrigerators and a grill. You are building a miniature automated factory. A busy express tunnel wash uses somewhere between 30 and 70 gallons of fresh water per vehicle. Run 200 cars through on a busy Saturday, and you are looking at between 6,000 and 14,000 gallons in a single day. That volume of water at municipal utility rates adds up fast. This is why every modern express wash installs a water reclamation system. The wastewater from the tunnel floor, the dirty, soapy runoff, gets captured in underground settling pits. Solids settle to the bottom. The water gets pumped through filters, treated with aeration to kill bacteria and prevent odor, and then recycled back into the wash cycle. A good reclamation system can recover up to 90% of the water that enters the tunnel, reusing it for the initial wash stages. Only the final rinse uses fresh, fully purified water run through a reverse osmosis system that strips out dissolved minerals, the ones that leave those white spots on your car after a wash. Eliminating them is what separates a professional result from a garden hose result. Water recycling is not optional anymore. In many Western states, California, Arizona, Nevada, local water authorities can impose drought restrictions that force businesses to reduce consumption. A car wash without recycling infrastructure in a drought-prone market is one bad summer away from a forced shutdown. Let me explain something that the car wash industry figured out a long time ago. The soap that goes into your basic wash costs the operator about 12 cents per car. The foaming Carnauba wax that goes into the mid-tier wash costs about 22 cents more. The tire shine costs about 18 cents. The ceramic sealant coat at the top of the menu costs about 45 cents. So the difference in chemical cost between the basic wash and the premium wash is roughly 63 cents per car. But the difference in what the customer pays? $5 to $8. That is the mathematics of premium upgrades. The ceramic coat that adds 45 cents in material cost lets the operator charge $8 more. The margin on that upgrade is over 90%. The entire premium pricing strategy is built around one insight. You are not selling a different car wash. You are selling a slightly different chemical sequence that costs almost nothing extra to deliver. This is also why the menu design at the entry kiosk matters. The highest priced option always goes at the top or left of the screen, not because most people buy it, but because seeing a $40 premium option first makes the $25 mid-tier feel like a reasonable, responsible choice. The anchoring effect. The customer who was going to spend $12 on the basic wash now spends $25 on the deluxe. and feels good about the decision. The motors in a car wash tunnel never stop running during operating hours. High-pressure water pumps, drying blowers, air compressors, the conveyor drive, vacuum motors across 30 stalls, LED lighting, kiosk screens. A standard express tunnel consumes between 1.5 and 2.5 kilowatt hours per vehicle wash. On a busy day washing 800 cars, that is 1,200 to 2,000 kilowatt hours in a single day. Monthly electricity bills at a busy location run from $8,000 to $20,000. There is a compounding problem. Every time a large motor starts, it draws a surge of current, sometimes 3 to 5 times its normal load, for the first few seconds.